Hello, welcome to Summerfest Online 2020. Thank you very much for coming along to view these presentations. Just a quick reminder that we have a number of exhibitors in the exhibitors hall. If you want to go along and have a quick browse, maybe do some shopping, then we'd love to see you. And a quick reminder too about our wonderful sponsors, Yayo Hemp Products and Butte Island Cheese. They're also in the exhibitors hall and they'd love to see you too. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember this is a free event, and if you'd like to make a small donation, you'd be very welcome. Please go to the Friends of VegFest page to make a donation. And a reminder too, we have another show in November, London Online, and in next March, Plant Powered Expo. And you can find out all about that on VegfestUK. Thanks very much and enjoy the presentation.
Hi everyone, it's Scott McCulloch here, co-founder and CEO of The Vegan Kind. Or I'll give a bit of background of The Vegan Kind for those who don't know who we are, but for those who do, you probably have imagined that we've been quite busy over the last 3-4 months, which we absolutely have. So today I'll try and give a bit of insight as to what we've been through and how we've kind of coped with it. Where I actually am at the moment is at our new warehouse, which I'll tell you about. But it's a bit of a sneak peek because not many people have seen inside it, and you're not going to see this video for a while after today's date. So by the time you see this video, we will have advanced even further, and perhaps have shared a bit more on social media and such like. But yeah, so I'll go through a few things today. Just keep it to half an hour. I will give you a bit of a brief history of The Vegan Kind. I'll explain a little bit about our COVID trading, where we are, where we were, where we are now with regards to trading, and physically with regards to the warehouse that we were in before and the warehouse that I'm going to show you that we're at now. I'll take you then into the warehouse and I'll show you exactly where we're moving into. It's quite a size, so take me a while to walk around it and explain wherever it is, and then hopefully that'll take about 20 minutes, and for the last 10 I'll just go through and try and add a bit of value in terms of how we've grown our team and motivated them, and what our plans for the future are to grow the business in this kind of ever-changing sector. You can maybe hear my wing mirrors on, so I will turn them off. I've made a promise to myself that I'm not even this is going to be unedited, because generally speaking, anytime I've do a bit of video before, I always do a take and then think it was really good, but one tiny bit wasn't perfect, so I'll go and redo it, and then it's never quite as good. And we are so stacked right now that I've not got too much time to spend on editing this, so hopefully I'll get it all right first time and kind of polish up a couple of bits. But yeah, we'll just go right on. So through COVID-19, in fact, sorry, that was the second bit. The first bit was to explain about who we are for those who don't know. So we are The Vegan Kind. We started in 2013. The business was originally Caris and myself, co-founders, husband and wife, and originally we had set out as purely a subscription box service. I actually was just thinking today, I remember before we'd even launched the subscription box, or when we were just in the process of launching it, one of the first places we ever went was VegFest. So that would have been VegFest kind of summer 2013. We went down with to go to VegFest, but and we had our Vegan Kind apparel on, our t-shirts, which we now look back on, and just seems night and day from where we were then to where we are now. But I guess for anybody watching this and thinking of starting up a business, and I'm sure plenty of you are, there's a lot of people with difficulty finding jobs and such right now, and thinking about more autonomous ways of earning, then yeah, it might be helpful to know that we started extremely small, from our bedroom. We were both at that time in full-time employment, and Caris had been vegetarian most of her life, and I'd been a meat eater all my life. But I'd interestingly never ever had eggs before, didn't really eat fish, and we as a couple, Caris was eating vegetarian food, which meant I started eating a lot more vegetarian food, and through that kind of path, Caris ended up deciding she was going to explore veganism. To me at that time, through coming across different milks, coconut milk, rice milk, oat milk, soy milk, just understanding that if those were there, what was cow's milk, I started finding myself more aligned or more able to understand veganism than I had possibly done vegetarianism. So anyway, long story short, we both decided we were going to go vegan. and we it had been a bit difficult for the first while, just having to check labels all the time, and we knew that going to the supermarket felt a bit of a struggle, but we knew that the products were out there. It was just that you had to kind of find them. So it's Caris's idea initially, that she was already a kind of blogger at the time, and she was already receiving subscription boxes, and she knew how simple they made whatever they were selling, like makeup boxes or whatever. Yeah, she, through that kind of transition into veganism and already been exposed to the kind of subscription box market, we were like, that is how we can help people go vegan. We were like, if we can just get the products to the people and explain that, you know, these options are out there, the food is amazing, the branding's great, there's all this new stuff appearing all the time, then we could sort of play our part, I feel like. So the subscription boxes were the kind of only product that we had for a couple of years, and then we brought out a bi-monthly beauty box after that, and after a couple of years we realised that if we wanted to sort of truly meet that mission of, you know, helping the world go vegan, that we weren't going to just do it via the subscription boxes, just through doing like a lot of kind of work and analysis on different traffic sources to websites, we sort of ascertained that being an online vegan supermarket made sense. It kind of dovetailed into who we were already, but it seemed like the next evolutionary step where we could just continue exposing people to all these vegan options in a way that no one was really doing at the time. So we set up the Vegan Kind supermarket in like 2015, I think it was, maybe 2016, and moved out of our first warehouse, which had been a relatively small 800 square foot warehouse. We moved into a 2,000 square foot warehouse, which felt massive. It was going to be our forever home. However, after not too long, we outgrew that, and we had to take on a warehouse across the road that was another 1,000 foot. So we were operating from about 3,000 foot. And then in about September 2018, about 2 years ago now, we made another move into a 13,000 square foot warehouse, which again we thought was, you know, the forever home. You know, we couldn't believe the size of this place. We went from 3 to then 13, so, you know, quadrupled in size and felt humongous and couldn't even imagine it, and it was really daunting, and but felt right, and, you know, we were ready for the challenge. So that was, as I say, about 18 months ago to 2 years. However, we then hit COVID-19. So that's why we're at this other warehouse, which I'll show you in a minute. So moving on to COVID-19 then. So for us as a business, it was extremely difficult to cope with. At the time, obviously, there was a lot of businesses, you know, shut down, and a lot of people struggling for various reasons. So obviously, you know, we realised we're on the sort of positive side of the fence, being food and drink and essential workers and being allowed to continue to trade, like, not in any way moaning. But at the same time, when it hit, our sort of infrastructure internally kind of blew up. You know, we would normally come into like a few thousand items on a Monday, so X amount of orders that contain a few thousand items. That would be how a Monday would look. The Monday we came in when COVID-19 news first broke and lockdown, we came into 18,000 items on the Monday. So that in and of itself was a large proportion of our inventory. So not only did we not have any really chance of getting that amount of stuff picked and packed in any one day, it stripped us of our stock quite quickly. So over a period of the next few weeks, that's basically what happened day in, day out. And the way that we handled it, what we wanted to do was basically stick to our USP, that the supermarket was next day delivery, where the likes of, you know, the big 4 supermarkets and loads of other retailers, really, they were just taking on weeks and weeks and weeks worth of orders of stuff that they, to my mind, didn't have yet. But if stock supply had been there, then, you know, they would hope to be able to fulfill those orders at a later date. Not really a big fan of that model in general, and think it's unfair, and we just decided to act differently, basically. So what we did was we kept a tight control of our stock, we got to our customers what they needed, and when we hit a certain amount of orders in any particular day, we turned the website off. We had a holding page that said, we're really sorry the website's closed, but we're closed to pack your orders, and it will be open again tonight, for example, at 8 o'clock. And what would happen was the website would just get flooded with traffic during that period. People were then just setting their reminders to go to the site at 8 o'clock. And again, as soon as we turned the site back on, we'd spend the whole day getting all the orders out, restocking as much as we humanly possibly could, turn it back on again at 8 and flooded again, and just like everything was gone. So basically that kept happening day after day after day after day for like 8 weeks. But what would change was how long the site was open for. So we would say, sorry, we're closed. We'll be opening again at 8 tonight. And, we would actually be able to open it up till, say, midnight, or sometimes we'd even be able to turn it off again the next morning. But just whenever we hit a certain number of orders that we knew we could cope with, we turned the site off, and that meant that everybody got next day delivery and ultimately still got the same service that they expect from us, but they knew that they could rely on us to be, we were clear about when we were open, we were clear about when we were closed, and yes, it might have been a bit of a smash and grab to try and get stuff when we were open, but we were doing that and no one else really was. So I think, we definitely did the right thing as a company there. We, managed our service, managed staff, managed all of our processes. In fact, going back to the staff part of it was probably the most challenging element of it, because as I'm sure a lot of you will remember, like back at the start, as it is now, to be fair, the information that comes out can be changing a lot, and you're not quite clear, and especially in Scotland as well, there's like this Scottish advice and then there's the UK advice, and meanwhile you're in the middle of this furor of orders, and we needed more and more and more and more staff. Obviously social distancing wasn't initially in place at the start, and then it came in, so basically what we just had to do was keep the team tight, make sure everybody understood that we needed everybody's input if anything that they felt was going wrong. We were obviously risk assessment wise doing our best, but at the same time we were in a pandemic, everything had exploded, so no one person could solely sort of take the burden of it, because it really was an extremely unique situation. But what we ultimately ended up doing was we ended up having like sanitisation stations at the entry, at the exit, a firm entry procedure for staff, an exit procedure for staff, social distancing on the floor, moved all our packing benches about, changed the amount of people that were allowed in the chiller at any one time, the staff at any one time, the kitchen, the freezer, and limited the amount of people that were in the warehouse at any one time. We also moved to having an early shift and then a late shift, and then we opened up on Saturdays to go 6 days a week, and then ended up opening up on Sundays to go 7 days a week. So we're basically now, as a business, we've gone from working Monday to Friday 9 till 4:30 to being Monday to Sunday operations, and 4 of those days are 8 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. The other ones are 8 till 4:30 at the weekends. So yeah, in a nutshell, COVID-19 was extremely challenging. However, it led us to be in a situation that we were permanently turning the website off. And although we didn't expect to have to move so soon, we recognised that the summer meant to be our sort of quiet spell. And, we will hit Halloween, and then November the 1st, which is the Vegan Kind's birthday, but also obviously World Vegan Day, and then November is World Vegan Month, and then obviously Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, Veganuary, straight into Valentine's, and then Easter. So like from now right through to April for us is like always like an explosive period anyway. We're just kind of growing it through it, as a lot of any e-commerce business in the ramp up to Christmas and so on. But I think where we've got the added catalyst from it is the fact that with Veganuary, January maybe normally a more quiet period for a lot of businesses, but for us it's a continuation of November and December, so it's really busy period. And we just realised that if we stayed in that warehouse when we hit that busy period, our outlet valve would essentially be to turn the website off again, which we really weren't happy with. That's not the solution. If there's all these people clamoring to get vegan food or like go vegan or whatever it is, and we're like, our website's off all the time, we're like so against the mission, it's just not what we're all about. Like, we're gonna have to move. So yeah, we're trying not talk too much because that's me at 13 minutes. But yeah, so that's basically led us to make a really, really bold decision and to move from a 13,000 square foot warehouse to a 34,000 square foot warehouse, which I'll take you out the car just now. We'll go in, I'll give you a wee chat around about what we're planning on doing. There's not too much has been done yet, but there's enough to show you, and I'll just chat you through it. So here we are. So for those of you that wonder what sort of size the vegan kind now is, this is what our new warehouse looks like so far. There's a lot of work to be done, and again, to maybe try tie people back to, you know, a vision, or people that are just starting out just now. Caris and I had never been in business before. Our business started in our flat. We, you know, were just really determined, dedicated, absolutely committed, and you know, we're able to just do something every single day, just keep that momentum up, something progressive for the business every single day. Don't let it get you down, support each other, you know, make positive change every time you can, and bit by bit we've ended up here. So yeah, so this entire warehouse was a sort of wholesaler warehouse before, so it had all that racking. The racking that's over there as well was just like in rows, up and down this full length of this place. So we've basically stripped the whole lot out, and what we're going to have in here is we're going to have a 2-tier mezzanine system. So that's basically almost like I always talk about it as if it's the sort of size of a Tesco's or something like that, but scaled down. So it's got the same kind of layout. You've got a main spine and then aisles coming off of it, but then condensed in. So it's for our pickers and packers to, you know, grab stuff from the aisles for your orders. But then what we'll have is on top of that sort of mini Tesco's, another mini Tesco's. So it's basically like a 2-tier e-commerce stack, which will be filled full of goods. But on top of that, we will also, because we're not just ambient goods, obviously we do, there appears to be, oh no, you wouldn't believe this, guys, there's a squirrel stuck in my warehouse. I'm gonna have to help him get out. Right guys, I'm gonna pause this. Hey pal. Oh, guys, he just went up that ladder. Okay, so I've just opened up the shutter. If I see him leaving, I'll try and get a wee snap of him. But what was hilarious, he ran straight across the floor and ran up that ladder like a human. Oh, there he is. Come on, pal. And you go. And you go, buddy. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, so this is the new warehouse. Where the pillars are in the middle is going to be like a huge big 2-tier mezzanine system. This entire area here in front of it will be the kind of packing benches. So let me just turn it. I'll try and point this way. So like from about there is a huge big 2-tier mezzanine system. That's all the ambient stuff will go, and then it all comes down here. This is all be packing benches. Goods in over there, come all the way through, get put away in the ambient or the chiller in the freezer, and then this whole area here will be goods out. Your orders will get picked up over there. We warehouse office, and that's a 3-story office block for all the staff there. So yeah, one of the main things that the Vegan Kind supermarket is known for is our vast array of chilled and frozen goods, and you will be delighted to know that this is our new fridge. So it's really big, and it'll just allow us to scale and grow over the next few years. We're going to have a 2-tier mezzanine system in here as well, and pallet racking and stuff there. So it's looking good so far. There's some drawings here on the wall. There's just some dimensions. But yeah, ultimately this will be a big wall in front of it here, and yeah, you'll then come through from this chill room, or you'll come, so this is going to be the wall here, you'll come through a double door here, you'll now be in the chiller, all here will be filled with stock, pallet loads of stock, and you pick all your chilled goods in here, and then there'll be a ramp here, and this will take you up into the freezer. We're planning on doing a lot more frozen goods soon, and this will allow us to store lots and lots of ice packs. This will allow us to scale up and just stock everything that we'd ever wanted to stock. So we're really excited about it. Definitely gonna give us plenty of room to grow. So yeah, that's it for here. I mean, I'll not take you into the office block at the moment because it's really just a kind of work site at the moment. There's a lot of work getting done in there, a lot of stuff being stripped out. But yeah, hopefully that gives you a kind of feel of the size of business that we've decided to become. I mean, we didn't have, we were definitely being really bold in doing this. I think that's something important. Like, it's not like this decision now is somehow easier than the first big decision we ever made, like when we decided to take our first warehouse on, or when Caris was the first, we're like, one of us needs to quit our job, so Caris quit our job, and then I had to quit my job. At neither of those points were we really that comfortable. It wasn't a dead cert, oh, this is gonna definitely work out for us, or this didn't even provide really enough income for current expenditures at the time. But it maybe never is. It's what it could become if you put your all into it. And for us, that was the main thing about leaving our jobs. We both had relatively good jobs, and we're happy, but we were really burning the candle at both ends, trying to do everything. And we knew that if we didn't have our jobs, the Vegan Kind wasn't going to be paying us the same amount of money, but we knew that we would be able to cope. And it was the vision of what the Vegan Kind could become if we both poured our hearts and soul into it, that we decided to go for it. And it's felt like that every time. Every warehouse we've taken on, no more so now. I mean, obviously we have been really busy through COVID-19, and we've decided to make this move. But at the same time, it's not like a surefire, I don't know, money's in the bank and we're totally safe. It's a big, bold, brave maneuver that we're making, but it doesn't feel any more brave than when I left my job, or when Caris left her job. Every decision you make from the very, very start right through to now for us feels like a big, scary, bold maneuver. You're just having to sort of analyze risk, be courageous in your thinking, and have a vision, and be willing to really go for it and commit to it. And maybe that sounds simplistic, but it's a simplistic way of looking at it. But within that, there's obviously a phenomenal amount of work that is required to do it, which I suppose neatly kind of brings me on to our team, because obviously the business is massively outgrown just Caris and I now. There's a team of, I think there's about 45 of us at the moment. So from going to me and Caris standing packing subscription boxes at 4 o'clock in the morning in our flat, knowing we're going to work at 8 with a 1-year-old crying, to now being here with 45 staff. I mean, it's incredible, and sometimes can't quite believe it. But the reason that we've got here is because we've had the right team involved, and I definitely think that that's something that's important for any business that's a startup. And I'd imagine lots of you are startups out there that are watching this, or if you're considering getting into business, then you'd become one. You definitely can't do it alone. You're going to need to, I'd say in the early days, you're going to need to want to understand everything to a degree. So whether that's marketing or social media, or just understanding about building a team or culture, or having a mission to work to, the people you'd want to recruit, like that is a hugely important part of growing the business. And I'd say within that, bringing people on board that have a desire to work like a startup, because I've been in several jobs myself before where it's 9 to 5 or whatever, and leave at 5 o'clock, and not saying that people don't leave at 5 o'clock at the vegan kind. Obviously they do, and it's encouraged. But at the same time, as a startup, it's never that linear. It's not like working at an RBS or whatever, and you can just clock off because the security guard's going to chuck you out at 5 anyway. We're a rapidly fast growing business, and the people that work at the vegan kind are really committed to the overall vision. They want to see the vegan kind be a success. They want us to keep growing. They sort of understand, the good that we're doing as a company, and the sort of influence that we really have on, I guess, societal change. I quite often say that for me anyway, veganism, whether it's animals, health, or the planet, to me it's vegan for the logic, because I believe all of those matter hugely. And I think just in general the growth of veganism is kind of going that way, which I know there's a debate about, obviously plant-based versus vegan, and plant-based without a doubt it's not the same, but from our analysis, a lot more people are identifying with, or going down the route of saying that they're plant-based. So to me that's fantastic, because plant-based is a step to vegan, and once somebody's plant-based, it's not that far away from making final changes or whatever. Or even if they didn't ever make any final changes, if the whole world was plant-based, we'd be infinitely better than we are right now. So we're always just trying to have positive change. Our mission has and always will be to help the world go vegan. That's what our kind of strapline that we've had internally. So that's always what our kind of cause is. However, anybody that makes any steps towards it, flexitarian, plant-based, anything like that, then we're always supportive of, even vegetarian, or even just reducing milk or anything like that. We always want to be encouraging and supportive. And so that's why over the next while we are going to plan to market a lot more towards that kind of flexitarian sector, just because it seems like a really engaged part of society at the moment, maybe that doesn't necessarily think they could go vegan. We all know they could, or doesn't maybe identify with it, but they're quite like saying, oh, but I'm plant-based occasionally, I like flexitarian, that's me. They're sort of attached to it, where there's been this sort of resistance to the word vegan for some reason. And so we as a business are going to heavily try and influence that plant-based and flexitarian sector, with our values, which are the vegan kind. We will always be the vegan kind. So we think we've got a really, really strong part to play in the growth of veganism beyond what we've done now. And moving into this warehouse really just gives us a sensational platform to go on and grow from. Actually, interestingly, so we do have there's a warehouse next door as well, which is about 30,000 square foot, and we've got first refusal on that for if in a year's time we have continued in the upward trend that we're on just now, and we're going to be seeking investment and doing all that kind of normal startup raise stuff, but in a year's time, if we feel that we could be short of space, then we have the option to take on that warehouse right next door, and the landlord said that they'll build between the two to interconnect them. So for us, we're in a really, really exciting phase of our growth. We've got a phenomenal team in place. We feel been through the worst of the learnings to do with COVID, and the sort of struggles as a business that you go through, making sure staff are kept well, and well-being is on point, because it's a difficult period, a lot of uncertainty and anxiety about coming into a work environment where people might be touching things. So we feel that we've sorted all of that really to a degree, always taking advice and feedback from anybody that wants to offer it. But generally speaking, from a health and safety perspective, we're really, really comfortable with where we're at. So let's move into this warehouse is just all positive, really. There's a lot that we're going to do in here, because we'll now have more space, such as lines that aren't even in the UK yet, or when it hits Christmas and Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we will know that we will not run out of stock. We will be able to cope with the demand, and just gives us a really, really exciting new period of our kind of story, so to speak. But yeah, so I think that's it for me just now. I mean, probably the last thing to say that might be exciting for anybody watching this, on the 1st of September we are launching a recipe site in conjunction with Gaz Oakley. So it'll be thevegankind.com/recipes, and you'll see more about it on social media, but we're basically aiming to make it the #1 vegan and plant-based recipe source in the UK and beyond. We're working with a lot of bloggers, a lot of food influencers. We're going to be emailing our email list to 250,000 people, and we really just want as many people as possible to get involved with that and support each other's creations, because obviously veganism is a lot about the food. So if we can just create a hub for everybody to come together, and more like a sort of food social environment is what we're kind of going for with it. But like I say, we're going to be working with a lot of top end chefs and collaborators to get the best quality dishes on there. So we think it's going to be a fantastic site for everybody to visit. So anyway, as promised, I have done this in one big long take. I'm not going to watch it back because nobody wants to see themselves. All I'll do is pick faults in my own talk. So but thank you very much to Tim and the whole VegFest team for VegFest as a whole. I say this to Matthew Veganuary as well, and Damien at Evolution. You guys that are out there advocating and putting on these shows and events and sort of campaigns are absolutely integral to the growth of veganism. Long may they continue. So I just wanted to be here and support the event in any way I could, obviously when we can't physically be there. So I hope everybody's well otherwise, and I hope everybody's managing to keep themselves relatively happy in whatever situation they're in. I know it's really difficult for a lot of people out there, and sending love to everybody's way who's struggling right now, because I know it's not easy for a lot. So keep an eye on the vegan kind. There's going to be a lot of change over the next 6 months to a year, and we'll hopefully see you as a customer sometime soon. And VegFest next year will, I'm sure, be back on bigger and better than ever before. And if anybody's got any questions, they can hit me up. I'm going to be there for the live Q&A for when this is actually posted on VegFest. And I'll answer any questions that I can. So hopefully this has been insightful for you. And if you've got dreams, then I would say now's the time to chase them for sure. Okay, cheers guys.